This episode is sponsored by UPMC Altoona Elite Orthopedics. UPMC Altoona Elite Orthopedics is proud to support youth sports across our region and proud to sponsor the 2023 high school football preview on the Altoona Mirror YouTube channel. To learn more about their board-certified orthopedic surgeons and the wide range of orthopedic conditions they treat, or to schedule an appointment in one of their facilities in Hollidaysburg or Bedford, visit upmcaltoona.com/ortho or call 814-889-3600.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to week 2 of the high school football season here on Mirror TV on your YouTube channel, the Altoona Mirror Football Show. My name is Scott Franco, the host. I'm joined by Andy Stein, Guru number 2, and Guru number 1, who's behind the green curtain over here, who might have a surprise for the show, and that would be, drumroll, the drum roll be in, Dan will put the drum. Oh, it's Mike Boyda! Football guru.
Oh, we're the Central player.
And we got this sent to us by Mrs. Smith, Kim Smith, Hunter Smith's mom, came by the Altoona Mirror TV studios this week and brought us, we had asked for free stuff. We got free stuff. I got a note from Jerry Albright, was one of the assistant coaches, was big behind this. We asked for, bumper stickers or magnets.
Hey, we'll take those.
And he sent me a Facebook notice going, would you like a shirt, or would you like a helmet, or would you even like a photo? And I was like, everything. We can get photos. We can get photos from Pat Wax-Munsky.
Option D.
Right.
Option D.
But I sat there and said, I know, because Mike said helmet. And I said, how about both? She showed up, so we got this. And we're allowed to keep it, too, which is really cool.
The best case scenario would be if we could get every team's helmet, and then we could do the matchups for each game.
Because everybody does play each other.
Yeah.
But what are we going to do if Penns Valley plays?
Well, Martin Tobias could send us a helmet.
That's right. You can get this internet thing that I hear in Center County.
It's really great.
I think we could do it. I do. And I'm hoping that free stuff keeps coming in. We kind of got greedy. I kept asking Mrs. Smith. They can vouch. I asked her for even more stuff, but I digress. Because we're going to jump right into this because we don't want that to fall. Mike has that rigged that it could actually hit me in the head. I could wake up stuck inside some other dimension. But anyways, week 2. Some teams going to be looking for their first wins on here. The first one right off the bat, Alderdice 0-1 out of Pittsburgh, at Altoona 0-1. What do you know about this Alderdice team?
Well, I know that they had a really bad first week. They just got absolutely crushed, but that has unfortunately been the norm for Alderdice. They haven't had a great football program, even though Altoona has beaten them during this entire series that they've played each other, some of the games have been really close. They've come down to like the last score. So this is a game, obviously, if you look at Altoona's schedule, this is a game that Altoona needs. They need to get back on track, and they've been able to do that. They've scored at least 27 points in all 6 matchups against Alderdice since they started playing in 2016. And I think that maybe getting that offense going a little bit, and, Andy can talk about this. He covered the game last week. They got the offense going. They were actually in control of that game late against Hollidaysburg. They just got off to such a slow start. But I think that if they get the second half Altoona team, they should be fine.
Yeah, a lot of people have asked me about Altoona over the last few days, and let me just say they'll be fine, I think. they had a lot of opportunities to win that game in the second half. If a holding penalty doesn't happen on that one touchdown, they probably do win. But hey, there's a lot to like about what they did. The first half, you just got to set that away. If you take away what they did in the second half, you'll see that they're going to be fine. And I really like that Mosley kid.
What about the defense of Altoona? Can they handle the speed that Taylor Albright is going to present to them on Friday?
Yeah, I think they'll be. Well, I mean, they had a challenge with Drew Weiland. Drew Weiland, he ran a lot over that, 179 yards for them, I think it was. But they might have. We'll see what Alderdice's speed brings to the table. But I still think. Altoona will be fine.
Either way, that's got to be something Altoona cleans up because they're going to be facing some mobile quarterbacks in the mid-pen.
Yeah. Going on to Game 2 and talking about teams that look like they're going to be fine. If anybody was wondering how Central was going to do, and regardless that it was Bellefonte, they still put up a can of you-know-what. Was that 49-0?
Yeah.
They host Somerset. Somerset they lost. They're 0-1. I got to think, you're probably not surprised that Central was going to win like that, or were you surprised?
Well, Bellefonte is not what they used to be. They've gone through some coaching changes, and they've been struggling as a program. However, anytime you have over 219 yards, I think it was 219 yards receiving for Jacob Benton, and Eli Muser had a great game. Hey, that's exactly what you want when you're like, how do we replace Jeff Hohenstein and Eli Langenfelder? And then, bam, you get 200 yards from a receiver and almost 300 yards passing from your quarterback. Muser has the look of a quarterback. He has the height.
In the Muthler family, his dad, I'm pretty sure his dad was a really good quarterback at Northern Bedford back in the 80s when I was starting to cover football. So it's a very athletic family.
Yeah, and they kind of have gotten a good schedule here because they played Bellefonte, and the Somerset game is obviously a winnable game, though Somerset did only trail Chestnut Ridge 7-0 at halftime last week, so they showed the ability that they can hang with some of these teams. But to have kind of this softer schedule to begin the season, I think is important for Central because they can get the momentum. These guys that don't have a lot of varsity experience can get that time under their belt, and then when they have the tougher games later on, they'll have that confidence to back themselves up.
How about Somerset's coach? How hard is that going to be? I mean, because it's still early. I would think you can still say, hey, that's all right. If this is week 8 and you're just coming off a loss like that.
Right, and, at this point, Somerset, they probably need some a little bit of momentum going. Just not even maybe they got some momentum going from only trailing 7-0 at Chestnut Ridge, but even from last season, they had a rough season last year. I think they just need a little bit of momentum going. Maybe they'll be fine. Maybe they get something going. If not this week, maybe in the very near future.
Our third game we're looking at, and these are two teams that are both searching for their first win. And one of them is ours. It's Bellwood and Bishop hosting Westmont Hilltop. Another one of those new games because of the merger of the leagues. Bellwood and Bishop coming off of pretty much they were beat up by Penns Valley. Yeah. Westmont Hilltop offers that. If you're Bellwood fans, you're going to this game. Westmont Hilltop runs the ball about 99 out of 100 times. Yeah. This could be a very fast game. As far as when it starts and when it ends, but what about Westmont Hilltop? What do you know about that?
Well, of course, there's going to be a lot of running. I will say this: Westmont Hilltop, one of their top running backs, he broke his leg against Forest Hills in the scrimmage, so they're out one of their top backs. They lost to Bedford in the first game of the season in overtime. This is a winnable game for Bellwood. Everyone talks about Bellwood coming into the Laurel Highlands and it might be a tough road and everything. The next 2 weeks, they can win these games. They play Westmont this week. They play Huntington next week. McCartney, a freshman for Bellwood, he ran for 204 yards last week against Penns Valley. And we talked with Dan Eisenberg, who covered the game out there, and he said that Bellwood moved the ball really well in between the 20s. When they just got in the red zone, they couldn't punch it in. They're going to have to take advantage of those scoring opportunities this week, though, because with Westmont, you don't get a lot of time to possess the ball. You don't get a lot of possessions because they move the clock. So you only get 7 possessions or so in the game. So when you have a chance, you better score.
And correct me, you were the Bellwood guy when you were down at the time of the newspaper.
For 4 or 5 years.
Those teams aren't used to being 0-2.
No, they aren't. No, it's that's very new territory. And you know, I think a lot of people would say, you know, they might take their lumps for a little bit. But you know what? I do like this McCarty kid. What, he had 200 and some yards the other night. I mean,
ninth grader.
Yeah, ninth grader. I mean, there's something coming there. So if you are down this year, I don't know if you're going to be down for long. Just hang in there, Bellwood.
Our next game, Hollidaysburg 1-0 at Allegheny, Maryland, 0-0. And as Mike pointed out in the paper this week earlier, Maryland starts their high school football season later than Pennsylvania. But Hollidaysburg, coming off something they hadn't done the last 2 years, is a victory. So what do you know about this Allegheny, Maryland team? Pretty much a lot of the same kids from last year.
Yeah,
Hollidaysburg.
Talked to Coach Delattre. He said they have like 17 starters back from a team that kicked a field goal last year in like the last minute or two to beat Hollidaysburg. It's kind of like Hollidaysburg's revenge tour, really. I mean, this they lost some close games last year, and this year they're back. They are healthier and they're more confident, especially after beating Altoona. You lose that lead against Altoona late in that first game. Who knows what the mindset going into this game is? But now, hey, this team. Homer said it. He said, we're going down there to get a win. I mean, this team is more confident, and this could get the momentum really going for this year for them. Because, hey, they don't have to put up a stellar record because there's not many teams in 5A. But they didn't go
Central Mountain, that's it.
They didn't go in the playoffs last year because they went 2-8. You get around 500, and that's going to be good. So I think this is definitely a game that they can win.
How big of a deal is this that they're playing their second game in Allegheny, Maryland? They're just coming off 2 scrimmages, probably. Yeah,
that's big. I mean, 2 scrimmages. I mean, they're great, but hey, they're scrimmages. I think you'd much rather play a game at this point. But just to feed off Mike said, the Weiland kid, I really like that kid. I think he's going to have a tremendous season. And Homer talked a lot about only having 2 wins last year after the game Friday night. And, maybe those games, like the one Friday night, maybe that's a turnaround to what they need to have, maybe an over 500 season, maybe a much better season for Hollidaysburg this year.
Hey, and don't forget, he didn't have a very big game on the opener, but Caden Delattre is capable of putting up huge numbers as a wide receiver.
Did come up with an interception, though, later.
I could say a big play there. Our last game we're going to look at is our first Saturday night game, and I like saying this now, McCourt Carroll. It's like Newman Goretti.
It's interesting.
McCourt Carroll. They're at Bishop Guilfoyle. Bishop Guilfoyle, I'm trying to think, when's the last time have they been 0-2? I can't imagine it's been a while since they were 0-2. And I thought McCourt Carroll played whoever they played them a lot tougher last week. Was it Central Cambria?
They lost 15-10. They actually had the ball on like the Central Cambria 8-yard line trying to score at the end, but the Central Cambria made a defensive stand.
We'll see how good they are at bouncing back here now. What do you know about McCourt Carroll?
Well, I do know that Rich D'Elia likes to call them the Kruskies. Kruskies, because the mixture of the Crushers and the Huskies.
That sounds like a breakfast here.
Sounds good.
Kruskies. Maybe you can make it look like Captain Crunch or something. Kruskies. I love that.
But
the Revenge Tour and Kruskies. That's 2 of my favorite things in this show today.
But McCourt Carroll has some really good athletes. They probably should have won that game against Central Cambria, but they had 4 turnovers. We all know turnovers kill you in football, and that's what happened to McCourt Carroll last week. BG, on the other hand, they went right down the field, scored on 4 plays on their first drive, didn't score the rest of the game. We all know they missed the 3 field goals. So these are teams that both have something they'd like to clean up for this week, and I don't know if you know this, but there is a little bit of a rivalry between Bishop McCourt and Bishop Guilfoyle. So there'll probably be some pushing and shoving. This should be a fun game to watch on Saturday.
And as far as what do we know, anything about injuries from any of our teams, any of these games? Did you have anything in your
a lot of cramping. That's all I can say. I think most of them will be pretty much fine. But hey, it's the first week. It was a hot, steamy night.
Can either one of you two, because you've been out there a lot now. I haven't been out as much, and have you ever seen as much cramping as you saw as last week? We'll take turns.
I mean,
Your game was ridiculous. I listened on the radio.
Play. That much cramping, no. But I will say it does happen every first week. It seems like it happens at least a few times, but never like last week. That was crazy.
And I'm not picking on Andy here because I was drenched as well. But I don't. Has Andy been as sweaty as you were?
That was ridiculous. It must have been 90 degrees in Hollywood.
Us big guys get punished a lot more.
Awful.
I think. But anyways, speaking about punishing, and Andy used to punish people as a lineman. We have Andy's first line of the week. What do you have for us?
Short steps. Short steps are better than long steps.
Okay, Central, you are my first line of the week.
Oh, wow. Was that just because of the gift, or were they going to be there no matter what?
Well, hey, it wasn't because of the gift. I didn't know we were getting that.
Because Mrs. Smith was schmoozing us with the helmet.
I got a hold of AJ Hohenstein on Sunday. So, it wasn't because of that. But, hey, 222 rushing yards, 304 passing. Hey, pass blocking counts. That's 531 total yards. Wow. Left tackle, Sawyer Howard. Left guard, Dylan Smith. Center, Brady Albright. Right guard, Casey Emler. Right tackle, Caden Shank. Tight end, Jackson Darline. Good job to those guys. And I got to do one more for an honorable mention. I was really pumped for this kid. I know we have to stay unbiased and everything, but hey, when a defensive lineman gets an interception, I get excited.
Oh, I know you're
6'1", 320-pound Darren Jones Jr. I don't really know how it happened, but hey, the kid came up with an interception the other day.
Altoona kid, right?
Altoona kid, yeah.
But he didn't get into the end zone, right? He was close.
He was tackled at, 5-yard line.
Could you imagine that would have been?
I mean, it was awesome. I was pumped for the kid.
And then now we have Mike's stat of the week before we get to the cool stuff in the program. Mike, what do you have for us for the stat of the week?
Well, I'd like to just give a shout out and a congratulations to Brian Kuntz getting his first win in 23 years for Everett. They obviously he was not the coach that whole time. He coached from 1989 to 2000. And then he came back last year. They weren't able to get a win last year, but opened the season this year with a 21-6 victory over West Branch. Congratulations, Coach Kuntz.
And the thing I always like to point out how old I am. I remember when he played in the mid-'80s, and I used to go cover his games on Saturday night. Now he's been, an athletic director, a teacher, and a coach. And,
at Northern Bedford, right?
Yes. He was. That's back when Northern Bedford played Saturday nights at Central's field because Northern Bedford did not have a football field. They always had to kind of do what BG does. BG plays home on Saturday, and then Northern Bedford had to play home on Saturdays at Central. And now we're going to get to, is Mike's blocking my pirate shirt out here. Can you still see it? But we're going to get to our cool name segment.
I wanna know what's the name of the game.
And you asked Andy, have I not been excited since we went off the air last week?
Oh, you were? Yeah.
Yeah. This week, Altoona and BG. Maximus Steele, and Dan will have it spelled right there across the screen. He's a junior from Altoona. Maximus, even if he went by Max Steele, he could maybe get a comic book out of that, I would think.
Maximus, that's not
And
bad.
then also, just because I will always have a heart for Italian names, I haven't been this excited since the Sante Bombacci at BG, but there's a freshman at BG named Enzo Lascoli. And if Dan could even get some Italian music to play in the background.
Can't teach that.
Enzo Lascoli.
WWE fan.
Anyways, that's going to do it for a week too. As Mike's working on his magic tricks, because
I'm playing blackjack here.
Nice.
Just busted the dealer there.
Anyways, Mike's going to be going on vacation. I thought maybe he's going to be practicing playing poker here.
He's playing hooky.
Yeah, we're going to actually look for a replacement for next week. How do you replace the football guru of Central?
We'll try. Maybe Neil will come in.
But anyways, don't forget to like.
I'll update everybody on the score of Cozumel versus Honduras.
There you go. We're hoping that he just doesn't get kidnapped, and Andy and I had to go rescue him, kind of like do a little Liam Neeson.
I was going to say, this sounds like Taken.
Yeah, there you go. We do not have a particular set of skills. So,
I hope Steven Seagal saves me.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know how much. I think Andy had a better chance at rescuing Mike than I could.
That's right.
But don't forget to like our video, share our video, and subscribe to our Altoona Mirror channel on YouTube. For Dan Eisenberg, for Poker Face here, Mike Boyden, for Andy Stein, I'm Scott Franco. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, free stuff next. Who's going to top Central? I want to see who's going to top Central.
Let's see who does.
I'm curious. Okay. Thanks. Good night, everybody.